Last Word with Matt Cooper.
Today FM.
It all happens here.
Today FM.
Now we've business with Ian Guider, columnist with the Business Post. Ian, Intel are reportedly looking at a site in County Galway for a new factory that would employ up to 10,000. Is this realistic, first of all?
Good evening, Mick. Well, it certainly is, because in the last number of weeks, the chief executive of Intel has been touring Europe. He's been at various trade shows, and he's pointing out that over the next couple of years, they're going to invest somewhere in the region of $80 billion building semiconductor manufacturing plants across Europe. There is huge demand for semiconductors, not just for computers and phones, but cars, all devices in the home that are now connected to the internet. So there is a global demand for semiconductors. So they're putting this money in, and they are scouting a number of locations. And of course, Ireland would be on that list, because in Leixlip, you already have about 5,000 people employed by Intel. Since the 1980s, they've invested $15 billion here. But if you're looking to develop these new sites that they're looking at, they're called mega fabrication plants. You need a much bigger site. And the IDA, according to Mark Tighe in the Sunday Times yesterday, have been scouring the country and have alighted on this 216-acre site in Oranmore, about 20 minutes drive from Galway City. It's an army firing range, a live firing range, important to the army, but potentially this site would be the one that Intel could use if they decided to invest in Ireland. And the Sunday Times pointing out this would mean 10,000 jobs. I'd imagine a lot of them created in the construction, because they're not just office blocks here. Mick, if you've ever passed a one in Leixlip, these are absolutely enormous sites. So you could see the potential here for this, investing tens of billions of dollars, you would imagine, and significant as well. That most of the time, Mick, if you're talking about jobs, they're normally in Dublin or on the East Coast. Now we're talking about bringing significant investment to the West Coast and ensuring that there are going to be jobs created, not just in construction, but when it's built, but all the businesses in the West that would benefit from having more people coming into Ireland. Now, the Sunday Times pointing out that the Army and the Defence Forces are probably a little bit reluctant to give over a significant portion of land that they use. But I will say this, Mick, I think in the context of things, they can find somewhere else to do it, because this would be potentially the biggest investment in the state if it came off. Now, there's a long way to go. You can imagine lots of other countries out there, Israel in particular, have been able to convince Intel to put money into that country, parts of Europe as well, like Germany and Eastern Europe. And also, there are places in the world that can offer incentives as well. So we might have to open our own public finances to this as well and give Intel grants. But it would be both the scale of it and where it's located. This would be something worth fighting tooth and nail for.
OK, Marks and Spencer's, they are considering closing some of its shops in France as Brexit means it can't supply some products. Are there straws in the wind here for us on this side of the UK, Ian?
You would hope not, but there has been, I'm sure anybody who went into the shops at the start of the year when the new Brexit guidelines came in would have seen empty shelves. And Marks and Spencer have previously warned their stores in Northern Ireland will not be able to hold some of their Christmas range. But on the continent, where Marks and Spencer, it's got about 20 shops in France, particularly in the Paris region. The shops have been empty, particularly for chilled goods. Marks and Spencer have blamed pointless bureaucracy. That's what they've said in the past about some of the Brexit checks on chilled foods. So they've not been able to stock up some of those stores to the levels that they would have previously been. So now, reports yesterday saying that potentially 20 of these stores are being closed. Marks and Spencer saying in a statement that in light of new customs arrangement, they are taking decisive steps to reconfigure their European operations. So read into that what you will. Marks and Spencer in the last couple of weeks, and particularly since the summer, have been warning of the new Brexit, all of the customs forms filling in, saying that this has delayed drivers, this has delayed stock getting into filling up these stores in continental Europe. But as I just said there at the beginning, also into Northern Ireland and into the Republic of Ireland. Archie Norman, the chairman of Marks and Spencer, he is a former Conservative member of Parliament, and he has been particularly scathing about the EU imposing these checks on food to ensure that its country of origin rules are met and maintained, saying that drivers are having to fill out hundreds of pages of forms and lorry drivers are being stuck in queues because of this. And the upshot of all of this is perhaps in France, shops are closing.
Okay, Ian Guider, thank you very much for that.
The Last Word with Matt Cooper.
Weekdays from 4:30.
Today FM.